In the fascinating world of female physiology, squirting has long been a topic of curiosity and debate. Not every woman experiences it. Yet for those who do, the sensations can feel truly unique. With a spirit of science and openness, Intimate Wisdom explores squirting from both a biological perspective and through the voices of women themselves. By understanding it more clearly, we not only gain accurate medical insight but also foster a more positive and respectful view of female sexuality. Anatomy and physiology. In the female body, the urethra is commonly known as the passage that carries urine from the bladder to the outside. However, surrounding this structure is a set of specialized glands called the Skene's glands. Often referred to as the female prostate, because of their embryological similarity to the male prostate. During sexual arousal, the Skene's glands begin to produce and store fluid. As a woman approaches orgasm, the pelvic floor muscles responsible for bladder control and support of pelvic organs start to contract rhythmically and forcefully. These contractions generate pressure against the spongy tissues encasing the urethra, which in turn propels the fluid outward. This physiological process results in what is known as squirting. Importantly, not all women experience it. Several factors may influence whether squirting occurs: anatomical differences, variations in nerve sensitivity, hormonal influences, and even psychological elements such as comfort, relaxation, and emotional connection during intimacy. By understanding the mechanics of this phenomenon, society can move beyond outdated misconceptions and recognize squirting as a normal physiological response rather than something unusual or shameful. For healthcare professionals and educators, presenting squirting as part of the spectrum of sexual function allows women to better understand their own bodies, while also encouraging a broader acceptance of sexual diversity. In media or educational contexts, framing it through science and empathy not only increases knowledge but also promotes healthier, more respectful conversations about female sexuality in modern culture. Characteristics of the fluid. Scientific studies analyzing the fluid released during squirting demonstrate that its composition and appearance can vary significantly. Most women describe the liquid as clear or slightly whitish, similar in consistency to water, with little to no distinct odor or color. The volume can range widely, from just a few drops that go unnoticed to large gushes capable of soaking bed sheets. Biochemical analyses show that this fluid is not purely urine, though it can contain diluted urinary components. Instead, it is often a mixture of liquid from the Skene's glands and varying amounts of urine expelled simultaneously through the urethra under pressure. A particularly compelling finding is the presence of prostate-specific antigen, PSA, an enzyme long associated with the male prostate. Detecting PSA in female squirting fluid strongly supports the role of the Skene's glands as a major contributor to the phenomenon. Still, the proportion of urine versus glandular fluid differs from woman to woman and even from one sexual encounter to another, making squirting a highly individual experience. This complexity helps explain why squirting has been misunderstood or oversimplified as accidental urination. From a scientific standpoint, it is more accurate to describe it as a distinct physiological reaction, shaped by both anatomy and arousal dynamics. Recognizing this diversity not only clears away misconceptions but also frames squirting as a natural variation of female sexual response, worthy of respect, curiosity, and acceptance. For advertisers or educators, highlighting these facts can foster a more balanced, evidence-based dialogue around female sexuality. Distinguishing squirting from female ejaculation. One of the most common sources of confusion is the difference between squirting and female ejaculation. Although both involve the Skene's glands, they are distinct physiological responses with separate characteristics. Female ejaculation typically produces a small quantity of fluid that is milky or whitish in appearance and slightly thicker in consistency. This fluid is secreted directly from the Skene's glands and is released in modest amounts. By contrast, squirting usually involves a much larger volume of liquid that is thinner, clearer, and sometimes mixed with diluted urine. This distinction is why scientists treat them as two separate events, even though they may occur in similar sexual contexts. Surveys suggest that around 40% of women report experiencing female ejaculation at least once in their lives. Yet the exact prevalence of squirting remains unclear due to limited large-scale studies. Researchers acknowledge that anatomical differences, the sensitivity of the Skene's glands, and psychological conditions all play a role in whether a woman experiences one or both responses. From a cultural standpoint, mainstream media has often conflated the two, leading to widespread misunderstandings. Clarifying the difference is therefore valuable not only for medical accuracy but also for empowering women to understand their own bodies without stigma. Distinction further helps educators, health practitioners, and content creators frame the topic in a responsible way that respects scientific evidence. Ultimately, recognizing squirting and female ejaculation as separate yet equally valid aspects of sexual physiology enhances awareness, normalizes diverse experiences, and fosters a healthier, more open perspective on female sexuality. Women's experiences with squirting. An international team of sexual health experts conducted a qualitative study to better understand how women actually perceive the phenomenon of squirting. Rather than focusing solely on biological mechanisms, the researchers explored personal accounts and the psychological and social context surrounding the experience. The interviews revealed three main categories of responses, reflecting a wide spectrum of emotions and interpretations. The first group described squirting as a highly positive and empowering experience. Many expressed feelings of surprise, pride, and even confidence in discovering that their bodies could respond in such a unique way. Some women refer to it as a kind of hidden ability that deepened their sense of sexual self-awareness. For them, squirting often marked a turning point in understanding their sexuality, whether through self-education with books and workshops or through the patient encouragement of a partner. This group associated the phenomenon with awakening, openness, and greater emotional intimacy in relationships. In contrast, the second group viewed squirting with indifference. These women reported that it did not intensify orgasm or create a distinctly different form of pleasure. Some only noticed it afterward, when finding damp sheets, and regarded it more as a side effect than a central part of their sexual experience. For them, squirting held little personal significance. Finally, the third group expressed discomfort or even embarrassment. They worried about the messiness or misinterpreted the fluid release as a loss of bladder control, which led to feelings of self-consciousness, especially in the presence of a partner. The study emphasized that women's attitudes toward squirting are shaped not only by biology but also by cultural values, social acceptance, and their partner's response. This highlights squirting as a diverse and individualized experience, one that should be approached with scientific understanding, openness, and respect. Women's experiences with squirting reveal that the female body is far more diverse and complex than any narrow definition could capture. For some, it is a source of pride and discovery; for others, it is a neutral detail or even an inconvenience. All of these perspectives are valid, because sexual response is shaped not only by physiology but also by personal beliefs, a partner's reactions, and the cultural environment in which a woman lives. What must be emphasized is this: squirting is not a measure of sexual worth. Its presence or absence does not define pleasure, fulfillment, or the quality of intimacy. Sexuality is an individual journey, where each person has the right to experience and enjoy it in their own way. By approaching the subject with science, openness, and respect, we can dismantle stigma, replace embarrassment with confidence, and use knowledge as a tool to enhance sexual well-being. Squirting, whether it happens or not, stands as a reminder of the richness and wonder of the female body. A truth that deserves recognition, respect, and celebration. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.